Welcome everyone to today's City Council meeting. Today, Monday, June 23rd, 2005. I now call this meeting to order. Roll call, please.
District 1, Councilmember Casey.
Present.
District 2, Councilmember Vieira.
Yes.
District 3, Councilmember Otero.
Here.
District 4, Vice Mayor Martinez.
Present.
Mayor Lopez.
Here. Please stand for the invocation by Pastor Henry from the Hope Tree Church, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. I believe he is here in person. Thank you.
Our heads. Father, we come to you because you are the only source of wisdom and truth that we can build our lives on and build the city on. Lord, I thank you for the many times that you've been here in these meetings, guiding us and allowing this city to not just survive, but to thrive. May we be reminded today that we are all your people, made in your image, made in your likeness. We are all part of this city. This is our city, Lord, that you've given us to oversee. And may, as these decisions are made, wisdom prevail, and that we do all these things in love and in your name. We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic.
There are no presentations today. Citizens communications. While the City Council welcomes and encourages participation in City Council meetings, adopted rules allow no more than 5 minutes. Resolution 2007-106 for expression of non-agenda items. Matters from the jurisdiction of the City Council and not on the posted agenda may be addressed by the general public. However, California law prohibits the City Council from taking any action on any matters which is not on the posted agenda, unless it's determined to be an emergency by the City Council. Citizens are entitled to address the City Council on any agenda item subject to the 5-minute provision. Anyone wishing to address the City Council must adhere to the rules of decorum. The rules of decorum are posted outside the chamber doors. We'll start off with our representatives. Are there any representatives in the audience that would like to start? Welcome.
Good evening, Ceres City Council staff and residents. Justin Farkas representing the Office of Assemblyman Juan Alanis. Firstly, thank you for allowing us space to hold our mobile district office hours here in the city of Ceres, as we do monthly in correspondence with your fourth Monday meeting each month. Starting here on the home front, Assemblyman Alanis has been hard at work here in the district trying to give back to our community. If you follow us on our social media or subscribe to our email newsletter, you may have seen that we recently hosted a blood drive in coalition with the Red Cross and Aspire charter schools. That was held at their Vanguard College Preparatory Academy location in West Modesto. And we were fortunate to have 27 constituents of ours come and donate blood, which can save over 80 lives. Really grateful for the feedback that we got and the outpour of giving that we received from our constituents, especially given that the Assemblyman is very determined blood giver. He gives on a regular basis, and as well as platelets, which is a more complex process. And he's very grateful for those in the community who gave back in that way. Secondly, we are planning a summer town hall that's going to be happening sometime in July. That's going to be happening in Modesto from what I recall. I don't have all the details for you on that yet, but if you do subscribe to our newsletter through our website or call our district office, we'd be happy to get you subscribed to that so you can come and be involved with that process of understanding what's happening in Sacramento, what the Assemblyman's doing, aside from my 5 minutes that I get up here once a month. And we'd be happy to invite you to that and have you involved with the legislative process. Now, moving up to Sacramento, last month, the state legislature had what's called their House of Origin Committee, meaning all bills from one house need to move into the other to remain alive through this legislative session. The Assemblyman had 7 bills cross that line, and 4 of them at this point have been scheduled for hearing. 2 involving the transparency and speed of our elections here in the state of California. 1 involving AED access, which, you know, if you've been following us for some time, is a very important matter that we have taken on as an office, is AED access, especially for youth sports. And thirdly is the way that child exploitative evidence in child trials regarding children are handled, making sure that copies of certain images, videos, etc., are not being made and are retained by law enforcement for viewing but not copying, just making sure that victims are not being re-victimized. That's really it for my legislative update. Thank you guys for having me, and I will be around at least through public comment for questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I just seen Supervisor Chance Conde step in the room. We are now doing public comments for our representatives. Welcome.
Good evening, Council. Happy to be here with you this evening. I just had a short report. As I'm sure some of you are aware, we're hosting our community cleanup this Saturday from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. I'd like to invite the council out to participate. Any volunteers who would like to come out and help get rid of some of the debris and trash that I'm sure will be very popular this week. We've had some of our most successful community cleanups here in Ceres. We've had 2 thus far. We're having our 3rd this weekend again at Central Valley High School. We will have the Burlati dumpsters available for anybody who'd like to come and dump their trash or their debris, sofas, mattresses, etc. So we hope to have a good turnout by the community and plenty of public participation. But again, just wanted to have an open invite to anybody who'd like to join us this Saturday. Happy to answer any questions if the council has any.
One more time, Supervisor, what was the time frame?
7 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Thank you, sir.
And now 1 p.m. is a hard stop. Okay, well, we hope to see you Saturday at Central Valley High School. Thanks again.
Thank you very much. Unless there is any other representatives in the room, we'll now open this up to the public. We have 2 yellow cards before we begin. First person we have is Randy Surdy.
Council members, to begin with, I want to congratulate our soon-to-be new chief, Trent Johnson. Now that we have a chief, or about to have a chief, we now need officers. Our Ceres Police Department is in dire need of officers to fill patrol and investigative positions. It is also obvious that we need to bolster our code enforcement efforts. Ceres is developing an image problem. In fact, we have an image problem. Our city is dirty and unkept. We have signs taped to telephone poles, fences, walls, and attached to metal supports stuck in street meridians throughout our city. Unlicensed and not paying taxes, street vendors are on most corners, peddling through neighborhoods and barbecuing on dirt lots after dark when most people go home. People are selling uninspected food out of their garages. Not a surprise that restaurants that are inspected and are paying taxes are closing in this city. Many of the street vendors are focusing their efforts on our schools and our children. Yards in our neighborhoods are dead and weed infested, as Ceres has not began allowing 3-day-a-week watering as other local communities have since the drought ended 2 years ago. Now, the council wants to raise our taxes. What is the ordinance here in the city on Airbnbs? Are they paying occupancy taxes? What is the ordinance on Airbnbs? The additional cars, commercial vehicles, and even 18-wheelers that are parked in front of Airbnbs in the Eastgate neighborhood are creating parking issues for the entire neighborhood. Finally, I want to publicly thank Councilperson Serena Otero and Councilperson James Casey for their transparency. And I know in my heart that they truly have the heart of Ceres on their minds and in their heart. They're not here for personal gain. They're not here for ego fulfillment. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next person is Connie. Connie. I could be wrong. I think it's C-O, looks like an N. Anybody propose a yellow card that has not had a chance to speak? My apologies. It's what is it? So it is Connie? Okay, ma'am. That's okay.
Connie Godot. Been a resident here for 72 years. I'm 77. First time I've ever had to speak publicly. I'm going to try to contain myself. It's really hard. I live 1/2 block, get me, on Larian Way from Eastgate Park. Our neighborhood, Ochoa Park. I'm ticked. We have lived there for 16 years. We moved and purchased a home knowing the neighborhood park was in the makings. And we just got that done, what, a year and a half ago? Maybe? Completed? Beautiful. I was just overwhelmed at the whole process. Beautifully done, over the top, even with water fountains. And a lot of people don't understand what a neighborhood park is. It took me a long time. It does not entail restrooms, nor does it entail. It's neighborhood. And I'm emphatic because for years, I thought we would have parking and restrooms. Thank goodness we don't, because we don't have enough people to maintain those, right? Now, bottom line, within the last month, our park is dead. The grass is dying. I am just over emphatic over it because it is. And I have pictures I would like to show. Don't have time. 2 of our young trees are leaning over and they have stakes. And they're still leaning over and they have been there back to restake them. I don't know who is maintaining these things. They're not educated people, let me tell you. I'm a housewife. I know how these stakes should be going and strapped. These are young, new trees. This is ridiculous. We have weeds this high in the back of the park. My husband's pointed those out to me, and I went for a walk Saturday night, I think it was. And I just started taking pictures and pictures. And I had been online, Facebook community. I'm telling you, I'm not the only one that is just disappointed in our whole system here, who do not pay good maintenance people. The schoolyards are better than our parks. What are we doing wrong? And who are our maintenance people? Who are they? Nobody wants to speak up. I don't get it. Jim Casey, I love you. We're gonna talk. And I really appreciate Serena. I called her and she called me back. We had a good 10-minute conversation. It was great. And I will tell you, they're out there digging today at the park. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know if they're underground fixing the system, the irrigation system. I've heard different stories. They're waiting on a part. I don't know. Do I get answers or no? I have to come back? My time's up. Hurry up. I don't get any answers from anybody. I rest my case.
Thank you very much. We are out of yellow cards. Anybody else wishing to speak during the general comment, do so now.
Dave Pratt of Ceres. Last Monday, the Planning Commission had 2 applicants for grub hubs to come in Ceres, but they decided to pass it down the road until the council members could tell them exactly how many taco trucks they want in Ceres. One of them once they had 20 trucks, and the other one once they had 10. And the one that's out on Service Road that's almost done. 15 out there. Plus, in the beginning, when there's no taco trucks in Ceres, the maximum of up to 20. So it's going to be interesting how many grub hubs is too many, and how many taco trucks is too many. At the beginning, when you had 20, you thought that was going to be too many. According to John, the flea market has up to 60 out there. The one out on Service Road is 15. So we're looking at 120 taco trucks. So it'll be interesting what your answer is going to be to give to the Planning Commission when these 2 applicants come back before them to try to get 2 more grub hubs in Ceres. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Welcome.
Oh, I can't resist this one. Shirley Rogers, Ceres. Thank you, Mr. Casey. You're one of the only ones that really cares. Now, on this other thing about the grub hub, please stop throwing that word around. It's trademarked. They're not grub hubs. Only the one in Modesto belongs to Grubhub, which it belongs to Chicago. And the one on Morgan can use Grubhub because it also is involved with Chicago. Grubhub is a food delivery service, not a taco center. That's called a food court. Get it straight, be careful, don't get sued. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next person. General comment.
Good evening, council, mayor, and city staff, and everybody in the public. Brady Myers, City of Ceres Chamber of Commerce President, giving my report tonight. I want to thank Joey for overseeing the Hot Air Balloon Festival that we had on Father's Day weekend, June 14th. If you had an opportunity to go, we had 6 balloons go up in the air. It was amazing. We had thousands of people. The weather could not have been better. So thank you, Mother Nature, for that one. Also, I wanted to report that in September, we have our One Table, One Community coming up. And we also have a golf tournament on September 26th. So we're currently looking for teams for golfing and hole sponsors. And that's it for today. Anybody has any questions, let me know. Thank you.
Thank you very much. see there's someone in the back holding a belt. Mr. Warren?
Good evening, council members. John Warren, City of Ceres. To kind of change the pace a little bit tonight from grub hubs and city issues, the situation that we have worldwide in the Mideast involving our armed forces personnel and our military people is something that we need to take pause and think about just briefly. Even though we have a lot of problems here within our city, a little flooding out at the park is nothing compared to what our armed forces personnel have to deal with today. So I just wanted to take a moment and ask everyone to think about that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Warren. You guys want to come up? I know you guys are eager.
Hello, city council members, future police chief, and gentleman over there. Brought in my son today because he won his 13th national title at the Junior Olympics, 8-time gold medalist, representing Ceres, California. My grandfather put a body of work, Louis Jordan. Some of you may know him, and Mike knows my uncle as well, Joe Carrillo, who passed away. But we've did a body of work here in this community of trying to build talent, taking the youth and doing something positive. So my son came back with another gold medal and another accomplishment. We're tracking for 2028 Olympics. So hopefully, we just got to stay focused and keep on the gas, and we'll get there eventually. Thank you.
Can you please state your name? Yeah, man, we need at least hear tell the audience what your name is.
What's that, Mayor?
Ask to have them step up so we can tell everybody what your name is. That way people know that you're representing Ceres.
My name is Damon Flores, and I'm 14 years old, and I'm a 13-time national champion.
That's right. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Do we have anybody else before we close this out? Jason.
Good evening, council, mayor, city staff. My name is Nathan Sanchez, and Ceres is a city that I call home. I've been up here a few times in the times past, and it is usually always positive words with a positive report. But 2 Saturdays ago, I had connected with family. It was for an event that happened at one of our local parks at Smyrna Park. Our family, they ended up renting the gazebo. And of course, you all know the fee for that. And it was something I actually encouraged them to do instead of just posting up underneath the tree in the shade. But when they had arrived there at the park in the gazebo, to my disappointment, there was dirty. Not only was it dirty, but there was a mound of dirt that overflowed next to the barbecued area. Not only that, but there was also wasp nest. Not one, not two, but 3 different ones. And alongside with that, they were there on site because they ended up putting the reserve sign there. I'm not specifically here to undermine nor to degrade the Parks Department nor the employees, but I am here to ask and for them to take a little bit of time the next time that they do hang up that sign to take some pride not only in their place of employment, but in this series, in this city, especially in the parks. Not only do I want to bring that to your attention, but also 2 weeks ago, there was a senior by the name of Tony Andrade, and he approached me very frustrated. He is a military veteran, and he came up to me and he expressed his frustrations because he kept on hitting a wall with something that he had reached out to the city and also to the code enforcement. And he said, Mason, what do? I spoke to him. I said, you know what, Tony? go according to the protocol. Let's find out who your your representative is, and let's reach out to him. So we did that. And I want to commend Councilman Casey. I did call him. I explained to him the situation on what was going on. And before I hung up, Councilman Casey requested for his phone number. And by the end of the day, they had connected with his constituent. And 2 days later, Councilman Casey took time out of his day and went to that resident's house to see what the situation was, to get it addressed. So I want to commend you on that, and we appreciate that for you doing that. Be well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nathan. Before we move on to Zoom, is there anybody else? All right, thank you very much. We'll go ahead and move on. We have 2 people with their hands raised on Zoom.
We do have 2 people. The attending member, James Casey, and I'm sure it's Kathleen or Kathy Casey. Your mic is unmuted.
Good afternoon, City of Ceres. My name is James Casey. Just wanted to do a simple public service announcement. It is my grandfather, that's right, my grandfather, City Councilman James Casey. It's his birthday today. I think he's pushing 76. God bless him. Thank you so much for everything you do. All your sacrifice for our family, sacrificing your time away from your family to help out Ceres. It's truly inspirational. I hope to be half the man you are. I'm here with Katie and Mary, your 2 other granddaughters, and we just wanted to say happy birthday. All right. Have a good one. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
You want to take it a step further? I don't mean to embarrass you, but let's sing him happy birthday.
Sounds good with me.
On 3.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Pa. And James Casey, City Councilman. Happy birthday to you. Thanks, man. Love you, Grandpa.
Congratulations. Thank you for that. Next person.
Jean Yeakley, your mic is unmuted.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, Gene Akeley Series. I couldn't be there this evening, but I did get a view of the audience, most of it anyway. And I wanted to commend all those people that showed up tonight. And I want to remind them to keep coming as often as you can. Keep those things that bother you or need attention in Ceres, and keep addressing the city council. It's you that can make some changes, if any, and the more people, the better. I've told this before, those people that sit up there, those 5 people, they make a judgment on where you live and what happens in your neighborhoods. It's a tragedy of how we've gotten to where we are today in Ceres politics, finance, and everything that goes with it. I want people to know that I know they have things to do in life, but after I seen the people there tonight, I know that those same people can keep coming, and they can tell their other friends or family to show up too. Don't be afraid to speak out. That's a disability. If you can't speak out, nothing's going to happen. So, and I want to commend James Casey and Serena Ortero for the flyers that they sent out. I know there was a problem with the first one, and then their expense that they paid on themselves to address the citizens of Ceres. Those people sitting in the audience should give them a round of applause later. And I see Mike Klein in there too. I'm surprised, Mike, even though you live in the city here, and of course some of the previous council people, I'm sure you got opinions about things that's going on in the city. I'm surprised you haven't got up and said anything. So, but that's up to you, you know. again, I encourage everybody to keep coming. Tell your friends, your family, and jot down those little items that bother you. Those things that, like the gentleman, the first gentleman that got up, he had some good notes. And that's just one area. But thank you for those people that came tonight. Thank you, Jim Casey and Serena Otero. And have a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any more hands raised?
There are no other hands raised on Zoom
Any emails tonight?
and no emails received.
Okay, no phone calls, texts, or pagers. Okay. We're now closing citizens' communications. Any council members wish to, is there any conflict of interest? Seeing none, there's no appointments. Moving on to consent calendar. All matters listed on the consent calendar are considered routine in nature and will be enacted by a single motion unless otherwise requested by an individual council member or public for special consideration. Otherwise, the recommendation of staff will be acted upon by a roll call vote. There has been an amendment on attachment C for agenda item number 7 related to the limited indemnity on page 4 for the agreement. Is there anyone on the council that wishes to pull an item on consent? Councilmember Vieira.
Item 9.
Councilmember Otero.
Item 6.
Any members of the public would like to pull an item on consent? Mr. Warren, go ahead, sir.
John Warren, City of Ceres. Number 9 has been requested. I request number 10 as well.
Thank you very much. Is there anybody else that would like to pull an item on consent? Anyone online?
There are no hands raised on Zoom.
Okay, I'll bring this item back for motion.
I'll make a motion to approve items 1 through 5, 7, and 8 of the consent calendar.
I'll second.
Can I get a roll call, please?
I'm sorry, was item 11 pulled?
Sorry, no, 11 as well.
Well, I don't think 11 was pulled. I could be wrong. I think it was just 10, 9, or 6. 10, 9, or 6.
1 through 5, 7, 8, and 11.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
11?
Eleven on my sheet says resolution for the solid waste disposal plan. Okay, so is there any confusion or?
No.
Okay, so those two don't have revisions. Let's get these guys to revisions. Okay, how long will that take?
That's okay. It's okay.
Okay, so we have a motion, a second. Can we get a roll call, please?
Yes, Councilmember Casey,
Aye.
Councilmember Vieira,
Aye.
Councilmember Otero,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Martinez,
Aye.
Mayor Lopez.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0 for items 1 through 5, 7 through 8, and 11.
Thank you very much. Item number 6, this is Councilwoman Vieira. Oh, I'll take that back. Councilmember Otero.
Thank you, Mayor. Just really quickly, under the fiscal impacts, it's not exactly noted what the cost of an SRO currently is and what the district will be paying to include increases by year. So I was just wondering if we can get that added for record keeping purposes and also for the minutes today.
Anybody from the audience would like to make a comment on item number 6? Oh, City Manager, go ahead, sir.
So keep in mind, this contract ends next year. It's only an amendment to the one year, so we can include that into the minutes.
Okay. And so it'll just have just the total salary. You'll list that. Thank you.
Thank you. Once again, anybody in the public that would like to make a comment on number 6? Okay. I'll bring this item back for motion.
Make a motion to approve item 6 of the consent calendar.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Casey,
Yes.
Councilmember Vieira,
Yes.
Councilmember Otero,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Martinez,
Aye.
Mayor Lopez.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Item number 9.
Number 9, I just want to confirm that the contract expires in 2025, not 2024, which is outlined in item 9, page 91.
That's accurate. It expires on June 30th of 2025 this year.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Members of the audience, any comments or questions on item number 9? Okay. Bring this item back for I'm sorry, Mr. Warren, I see you. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead, sir.
John Warren, City of Ceres. 9 and 10 are kind of run together, involve ratification of a memorandum to increase the public safety salaries by 20% over the next 3 or 4 years, 3 or 4 year contract, beginning July 1 with a 5% raise, and then a 5% raise the next year, and then another 5 and another 5, for a total of 20%. Starting July 1, 9 and 10, both of those together, over $500,000 increase in our city budget. I understand that it's included in this budget by using reserve funding. And I'm just wondering what we're going to use next year, because next year it's not going to be $500,000. It's going to be $1 million. And then after that, when we get to the end of that contract, we're going to have over $2 million additional funding that the city needs to find to balance the budget. We can't keep dipping into reserves because they're going to be gone pretty quick. So I think the city needs to take the stance of finding the money or having the money available before they go out and make a purchase, before they promise somebody a salary that they may not be able to keep paying. Right now, with 14 unfilled positions, I still haven't received an answer that I asked a while back about how much money that saves the city in this current budget. 14 positions probably is several $1 million, plus the $2 million that we're short this year already, plus the additional millions that we're going to be missing in the next couple of years. According to the finance person, the income level that the city receives is not very bleak and is not going to increase pretty steady going forward. So all we're doing is adding to our deficit without a way to fund these raises. I think these employees deserve a raise. There's no doubt in my mind that they work very hard, but they may be out of a job if the city doesn't have the money to pay them. So that's something that needs to be considered as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Warren. Is there anybody else for item number 9? Okay, I'll bring this item back for a motion.
Make a motion to approve item number 9 of the consent calendar.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Casey,
No.
Councilmember Vieira,
Yes.
Councilmember Otero,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Martinez,
Aye.
Mayor Lopez.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-1.
Item number 10. Who pulled item number 10? Oh, John, you did? You pulled item number 10? So you wanted to include them? Okay, that's fine.
I would have the same comments for 10, and I put them there with number 9. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Open this up to the public. Anybody else would like to make a comment on item number 10?
Oh, hi, my name is Irma Gutierrez. I need an interpreter.
¿Necesitas alguien para?
Sí, nomás quería decir gracias por la ayuda que me diste el año pasado. Yo vivo en 1630 Paramount.
Christina will translate for you.
She wants to say thank you for the help that you gave her at her address on Paramount last year.
Sí, nomás quería decir gracias por la ayuda.
She just want to say thank you for the help.
En quitar los conles cerca de mi casa. Ha mejorado mucho.
She said the area around her house has gone much
Había
better.
podido venir a decir gracias a principal a Javier López.
She hasn't had time to come by and say thank you specifically to Mayor Lopez.
Hicimos una junta ahí fuera de mi casa con mis vecinos y eso ayudó mucho.
They had a meeting outside of her home with the neighbors, and that really helped a lot.
Ese
Gracias.
es cuando tenían los homeless en the parking lot.
Sí, sí. Ahorita hay, pero ya no me dan problema. Ahorita sí hay, pero se van.
She said there are still some homeless in a parking lot near her home, but they don't really give him much trouble anymore.
Oh, muchas gracias. Estoy muy agradecida.
So thank you, and thank you.
Escriban, sí. Gracias.
Gracias, thank you.
Oh, ¿es su nombre, por favor? Irma Gutiérrez, gracias.
Rosa, did you push your button or is this old? Okay. I am done with public comments, bringing it back.
Warren, I appreciate your comments about our fiscal budget, which is why I've been trying not to spend and I try not to use the money. I think that's a huge concern. But at the same time, I have to look at our police force and how many officers we're struggling that we're having because we're losing our police officers to our neighborhood police departments. They're going to neighborhoods because they pay more in the cities around us. And I think we need to be competitive if we want to keep them, especially some of our officers. I see them in the back. They're doing amazing things out there in the streets. And although it hurts financially and I hate pulling from the reserves, I think they are the one group of people that I'm willing to go into the reserves for and say, you know what, let's see what we can do together because we need to fill those open positions. I need to make sure we keep the amazing officers that we have now on the streets. I need to make sure that we're able to recruit from the other cities because they're recruiting from our amazing police force. And I want to make sure that we're able to recruit those amazing police officers as well and the ones that are coming out of the academy that want to come and support Ceres. And as much as I am fiscally conservative and not wanting to spend the money out of our reserves, which is why I don't want to move money around, I want to just not spend it. I think the police force is one place that I'm willing to spend the money in. And if this is the one step I need to do to try to decrease that huge percent, as you had mentioned, the amount of empty positions that we have or vacant positions that we've had over the last almost 2 years, I believe, Chief can correct me. I think it's essential that we do what we can to try to keep the ones that we have here now and the steps that we need to do to try to keep those empty positions filled.
Thank you. Unless there's any other comments go for a motion.
Make a motion to approve item number 10.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Casey,
Aye.
Councilmember Vieira,
Yes.
Councilmember Otero,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Martinez,
Aye.
Mayor Lopez.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Moving on to public hearing. Item number 12, resolution number 2025, adopting the annual budget for fiscal year 2026, beginning July 1st, 2025, and ending June 30th, 2026, and improving positions for the fiscal year of 2026.
Good evening, Mayor Lopez, City Council members, and members of the public. Tonight, I'm here to present the fiscal year 2025-2026 City of Ceres budget. This budget is the product of months of collaboration among department heads, staff, and community stakeholders. It reflects a shared commitment to protecting essential city services, investing in infrastructure, and advancing the City Council's strategic priorities during a time of continued fiscal challenge. This is the third time this council and the public have reviewed the budget. We presented it in a budget workshop on June 2nd, followed by a discussion during the June 9th regular council meeting, and now again tonight as we look to adopt the budget for fiscal year 26. The proposed fiscal year 26 citywide budget includes $87.2 million in projected revenues and $96.1 million in projected expenditures. This $9 million variance is primarily driven by one-time capital improvement projects funded by previously accumulated balances in water, sewer, and transportation funds. However, within the general fund, we are facing a $2 million structural deficit. Expenditures for the general fund are projected at $29.5 million, which outpaces projected revenues of $27.5 million. This gap reflects growing financial pressures tied to pension obligations, insurance, animal services, inflation, and stagnant growth in core revenue streams. Since the last time the budget was presented, one adjustment has been made. Legal services budget in Department 60, General Government, was reduced by $100,000 due to ongoing negotiations with our legal firm to reduce costs and potentially implement a retainer agreement. Thus, $100,000 was reallocated by moving $50,000 to Department 73 to cover additional costs associated with completing the financial audit, $25,000 to Department 66, Human Resources for contract services, and $25,000 to Department 63, elected officials, which will provide $5,000 to each district to fund community services and sponsorships. This budget also includes $592,000 general fund transfer to sustain valued community programs and facilities, such as the Community Center, Clinton Wentmore Mansion, and Concerts in the Park, services and programs that contribute to the vibrancy and quality of life in Ceres. As mentioned at previous meetings, the method for accounting for community facilities districts, or CFDs, revenue and expenditures has changed. These funds will remain in separate funds and will not be transferred to the general fund, providing greater transparency and alignment with state guidelines. The general fund is projected to close fiscal year 26 with a $4.8 million fund balance, or 16.3% of expenditures. While this is close to industry standards, it does fall short of both the City Council's policy target of 18% and the GFOA's 17% benchmark, underscoring the importance of closely monitoring revenues and expenditures throughout the year. The city remains committed to long-term fiscal sustainability, and we've taken steps such as adopting new user fee schedules and initiating key studies related to public facility fees and water and sewer rates. No new full-time positions are being proposed at this time, and the budget reflects 14 unfunded positions across public safety, public works, finance, and community development. The 5-year Capital Improvement Program, or CIP, was recommended for approval by the Planning Commission on June 16th, 2025. The CIP represents $19,504,000 of the citywide budget. During this meeting, the commission recommended that Lions Park be added to the long-range planning portion of the CIP. Staff's recommendation is to add this project beyond the 5-year timeline due to limited funding for parks. However, if staff were to secure a grant to fund the design and construction of the park, the project could be moved into a specific fiscal year for implementation. The budget before you supports council's priorities, maintains core service levels, and funds infrastructure investment during a challenging economic time. It's important to note that the state law requires the city council to adopt the annual budget prior to July 1, which is the start of the new fiscal year. This legal requirement ensures that the city has an approved spending plan in place to authorize expenditures and maintain uninterrupted delivery of services. This process would not have been possible without the collective efforts of all of our departments, the city manager, and the finance department team, including Sonia Ledesma and Lauren Robbins. In closing, staff recommends the following actions by the City Council: adopt the resolution approving the annual budget and position approvals for fiscal year 2026 for the City of Ceres, and adopt the resolution establishing the appropriations limit for fiscal year 2026. That includes my presentation, and staff is available for questions.
Thank you very much. At this time, we're going to open up the public hearing. Is there anyone in the chambers that would like to make a comment on this item? Now is the time.
Is there any money in the budget for the sister city?
Doug?
No, ma'am, not at this time.
There's no money in there for sister city?
We can, at this time, we could join Sister City organization, but we have not picked the sister city, so we have no idea or how to determine how much money we have to put in there until we have picked the sister city.
And we make sure that no money comes out of the city budget for the sister city? If the council wants it so bad that they okayed it over and above asking anybody from the citizens, which is almost 50,000 people, then I suggest that if they want a sister city, they go out and they get some sponsors, but don't expect the city to pay for something we have nothing to say about. It's not going to be cheap. Only the $620 to join would be cheap. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else on this item? Okay, moving on. Anybody on Zoom?
There are no hands raised on Zoom, and there were no emails received.
Okay. Very much. Thank you very much. Moving on, we'll bring this item back as the public hearing is now closed. Council members, this is your opportunity for discussion, questions, and action. I see that Councilwoman Vieira has pressed her button. Go ahead.
Thank you. In regarding to the legal services, which you said was fund or Department 60 for General City, if I got that correct, looks like right now the actual budgeted for this year, 24-25, it looks like it's 1.2 for personnel services. Looks like we're for 25-26 is 1.3 million. Now, is that what we're paying for legal services? Because I'm wondering if it's going to be cheaper just to have a regular full-time attorney on staff. Because it looks like right now when I'm looking at page 297 of the general budget, which is item 12, Department 60, which is what I thought she had said, personnel services is 1.3. Am I looking at the wrong page?
So you're looking at workers' compensation in General City?
For personnel services?
Yes, workers' compensation falls under personnel services. It's part of the total personnel cost.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, thank you. And I think that's it for now. Thank you.
Okay, Councilwoman Montero.
Okay. I have a few questions here that I didn't ask at the last two meetings. There isn't a amount listed for case manufacturing or case dispensary. Do we not have any type of projection on what we might be receiving?
So right now, keep in mind, Case Manufacturing owes us a considerable amount of money. They have not been paying us, and so we're in the process of looking at the next steps and moving forward with them. You said Case's Journey?
Cases dispensary.
Which is Case's Journey. They're paying a minimum amount right now. They're trying to make a limit, which is on the development agreement. But keep in mind, come July 14th, I believe, or 28th, we're bringing back a cannabis tax discussion for the council, and that's going to be presented by Thomas or Nubia of our law firm to have the council decide if they want to impose a tax that was passed by the council many years ago but didn't set the limit, or to stay with our current development agreements.
Okay. And then my other question, can you clarify or confirm again if an audit internally has been conducted just line by line for each department in the city? Has there been a review done for each department in the city just to audit and make sure that there's no other funds that can be moved into other departments or projects that can be put on hold until next year.
So when we started the budget talks originally a few months ago, the finance department and myself sat with each department head and went by line item on what we could do to try and eliminate this year's deficit. So
Okay.
yes.
Thank you. And another question, I'm not sure if this is possible. This is my first time going through this budget process with the city, but is there an option at all to have an interim budget in place to be able to pay salaries for the employees right now and take this budget back to the drawing board and look at some other goals to be able to lessen the amount that's going to come out of the reserves?
I'm probably going to defer this to our finance director, but we have to have some type of budget to pay the bills, not just pay salaries, because we're moving forward and we write considerable amount of bills each month. So there's options. I think we could move forward. That's just prolonging what what we have to do eventually. And so, Shannon, do you have any other thing to add?
If your question is that an option? Yes, of course, it's an option. What I would, suggest is that we potentially adopt the budget before us today. And if you want staff to come back in, say, 4 or 5 months or something like that with an update in terms of how we're seeing revenues come in and have the departments take a deeper dive into things. And if we have suggested recommendations to make changes at that time, we can do that. That would be my suggestion.
Thank you. So previously, I was someone that suggested to help by moving funding to public safety out of the city council budget. That wasn't approved. Our public safety is the foundation to keeping our community safe, especially with all the many issues with, seeing homeless, code enforcement, that all ties together. I've been on this council now for 6 months, and I found the funding and spending discussions very interesting. I've had a lot of communication with our city manager and asked questions about the spending, which I do know that him and our finance director are reviewing it to have a better process in place. I've had concerns, just probably maybe the other council members can agree. I'm not sure that when there's projects that are coming up or spending that's going to be completed, I'm not sure we're necessarily informed. It seemed that occurred during the ARPA funding projects. Just the lack of transparency in some of these projects, for example, the finance project, that was a huge concern that I had after finding out that that project was completed and funds could have been used elsewhere. I think that was, I don't know if the council was misled, but there was a lack of transparency in that. And when it comes to projects for the city employees, I 100% believe that their work areas are really important. They got to have the tools and the resources and everything they need. And I understand that as being a manager in local government, we want to raise morale. We want to keep our staff here. We want them to be safe. We want them to have a clean environment. But sometimes we do need to reevaluate our priorities and make hard decisions so that way we can not end up in the situation that we're currently in. The budget was given to the public 3 weeks ago. This clearly is not enough time for public engagement. I do feel there was a lack of planning. We don't have an updated strategic plan. And in my opinion, we don't have any real set goals. Currently, we need to prioritize what is urgent and necessary. And we also need to ensure that all of our goals involves the public's vision. It just is not our vision up here. It's not just city staff's vision, but it's all of us working together as a whole, as a community. I don't recall last time we've had maybe like a community survey to hear what residents' priorities are, or again, what the vision is and what you want to see in your districts. But I think going into the future, we've got to make better plans so we don't end up in this situation. And I know that you all expect us as a council to be efficient in our decision-making and all of the services that is provided in this city. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any additional comments? Mr. Casey, go ahead. I see.
Thank you. Ms. Serena covered a lot of things. There's, the budget's pretty thick, and I commented to Fallon, our city clerk, and we got our agenda out this time on Tuesday. Usually we get it either late Wednesday or early Thursday. Earlier, our finance director talked about transferring money from one account to Department 63. That's us, elected officials. I see there that we moved $25,000 from somewhere to us for us to use for community service. I think since I've been on the council, one of the things I've asked for, and maybe not forceful enough, our finance director previously mentioned, we're under state law obligated to pass a budget. And I think Serena asked a good question about, can we modify this one and move on, give us a chance to cut through the fat, so to speak. The real question, we're still working on an audit that we're supposed to have every year. And maybe I should call on the city manager to find out what year are we completely finished with an audit. But at any rate, the citizens of Ceres haven't had opportunity to really get to know our government and to find out what the government has made as priorities. And so at any rate, I will find it difficult to vote to approve this budget. Again, I don't know what the $25,000 is for. It says community service. Is $5,000 for each one of us to use for what?
It'd be $25,000, so it's split 5 ways. Each one of the council members gets $5,000 to use at their discretion to give to the different projects within the city or different funds such as the Ceres Street Fair or Crosstown Showdown or wherever you want to move that money. So
Okay. I want to give my $5,000 to the soccer field, soccer team.
Well, we haven't passed the budget yet,
Oh, okay.
so I can't move any money.
Okay. Anyway, I find it difficult. And again, the question is, have we completed an audit for 2024, 2023, 2022? I think that's a fair question for the public to know.
Keep in mind, all that was discussed with you in closed session, so I can't talk about it.
Councilwoman Vieira.
Thank you. And just kind of piggybacking on what Councilmember Casey had brought up regarding the 25,000, is that coming from the reserves, and does that impact some of the stuff that Julian is doing and what our community parks and recs with what they're doing when it comes to the community events?
Clarify, it was already in the budget. All we did is move it from Fund 60 to 63. And so we didn't.
So would it impact Joey and Julian, because they're the ones that kind of chair a lot of our community events? And I don't want to necessarily take away what they have been doing, because they've been doing an amazing job with the job fair, which we just had. I know we had the Hot Air Balloon Festival. We have other festivals that I know he does. We have concerts in the park. We have a lot of stuff that's already on the books, so to say, that we're already, the street concerts in the park. I don't necessarily want to take away what we're already doing. And that's where I'm just kind of concerned, like, does this mean that we no longer have a job fair, or we no longer have community events or concert in the parks if the five of us don't agree that that's where we want to allocate the funds to?
You mind if I answer? I think, Rosalinda, that you could possibly give any of their departments towards any of those events. Am I correct? But she did have an answer, a question about where the money coming from?
We're taking it from the attorney's fees, so we.
From the attorney fees,
We're-
not directly
we're
from
going
them.
up over 100%. We took some of that money out and moved it into the other funds so that we could have or get some things done, such as the audit that Mr. Casey is talking about. Going to human resources for contract services because we need that, and the other 25,000 would be going to council to go to donate, or however you want to do with your $5,000. As far as the job fair, that's partially funded through the county, I believe, Julian, so it wouldn't really affect that. The concerts in the park is already funded in your budget this year, or for next year.
I had noticed that Councilwoman Otero, you pushed your button. You have a follow-up question?
Yeah, just a follow-up question to this money. I guess as a council, are we going to talk about like who we're giving the money to? Because what if there's already two other council members donating the money to this an organization or an event, and then I thought, oh, I want to do it too, and now there goes $15,000 when we could use it in for another organization. So how exactly is this going to work?
So we're trying to follow the path of the county supervisors. They each get a certain amount of money, and they talk amongst themselves to say, I'm going to donate this amount of money or whatever. Do you want to partner with me to donate this? Instead of just 2,500, we can give 5,000, or instead of 5,000, we give 10,000. Or if you want to partner all three of you, you can give an increased amount. But it generates the discussion between the council members to sit there and talk amongst yourselves to say who's given what money. And it's not, you don't have to come back and get permission from it. You just have to talk and let us know when you want to take it and donate it to whatever organization.
Is this something that we all agree with up here? Was it something that we should have discussed and voted on, like as a referral, or
I think
is it just a suggestion from city staff?
I think
This all talked to you 2 weeks ago. This is
Brief-
discussed in the 221 meetings that we had.
Right, briefly, but also I thought maybe we would all discuss it together. I just want to make sure we're all on the same page about this.
You can discuss it now.
I don't know if anyone else has any proposal to this.
Mike, when I had my meeting with Doug, and this was briefly mentioned, my concern has always been the community. Like Joey and Julian, they're key when it comes to community events. And I do not want to take from our children. I do not want to take from our soccer, from our baseball. If this money is better either left in the reserves or with our official, with the ones that have been doing it and been doing it so well, I don't necessarily think that I'm in a place where I would, and I think I made that pretty clear, like, I don't want anything necessarily to do with this because I'd rather have it in the reserves or where we need it, where Julian and Joey are dealing with the community, dealing with our youth, dealing with recreation, dealing with, difficulties, even having our swimming this semester or this summer, trying to get our children into the swimming and the recreation. And so that's kind of where we didn't have this discussion much because I immediately put up the red flag and said, if it's coming from the reserves, I don't want to have anything to do with it. And I don't want to take from what our city staff is already doing. I don't think that's much. I love the idea if we had the money, but I don't think we're in a place where I can make those decisions.
And I think that maybe there might be events or something else going on that Joey and Julian may know about that we may not necessarily know about. And, a week prior, we've donated money somewhere else. So I'm just a little concerned about this process.
Keep in mind, there's no money in the funds right now for Love Series or Series Street Fair in the budget.
So I have a question. So if, for example, when this comes back if the budget is passed and we have the conversation about how we were going to disseminate the funding. Essentially, Councilmember Casey, he could say, hey, Javier, would you agree to put in 1,000 of your funding, 1,000 of my funding towards the soccer field? That is what we're talking about here, right? That we can, and then Rosalind, if she wanted to put more money towards any of the programs for Park and Recs, we could do that as well, correct?
That is correct.
But we should at least come up with a process, right? So if this item should come back to council on an agendized, on the agenda to talk about the process and then take action. That would be my recommendation.
I agree. I totally think we need to have a process and procedure before I'm able to vote on whether I agree it should be used. But right now, my biggest concern is leaving as much money possible in the reserves.
So could I add that if the budget passes, this item comes back to council, we don't come up with a procedure and we decide that we're not going to move forward, that funding can go back where? Back into general fund?
Go back to general fund.
I would be okay with that. If there's that option there, because I do want to make sure that our council members are being heard about those questions they're asking. And so, but today we would pass the budget with this item. And then when it comes back, we'll have at least 2 more opportunities to make a decision on the process and if or we'll move forward with the item. Did you understand what I just said? We have to pass this with the budget, and then we'll make a request for the item to come back where you'll agendize it in a future meeting.
Yeah.
25,000.
If you want for us to develop a process, we can.
Yes, we absolutely do. I think so.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I know that Vice Mayor Martinez, you had your button pressed. It's not working. You try it again.
Doug, I just wanted to make sure really quick that if this 25,000 does pass and the council members don't end up using it, it just goes back to the general fund at the end of the fiscal year?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And Councilmember Casey, your button has been pressed.
Sure. Mr. Mayor, first off, I wouldn't say Javier, I'd say Mayor, okay? But so if that's the case with this 25,000, it's the case with every line item on the budget, isn't it? We can bring it back and take it away, add to it. Is that, I mean, it's
Not necessarily. Not necessarily.
okay.
So can I jump in here for a second?
Yes, ma'am.
So if we have less expenditures than what's projected in this budget, the general fund reserve will not be used.
Correct.
So if revenues come in higher or expenses come in lower. So it's not a transfer of money. It's just the general fund is it's like a savings account. And so you would be approving us to go into that savings account by $2 million based on this budget. But if we don't need that, we don't use that.
Correct. That has happened here in the city of Ceres a couple times. I've seen that, especially with ARPA funding that we said we were going to use in one fiscal year, didn't wind up using it, pushed it in again, and then no longer had the ARPA funding because we did use it the second time.
And then just one more clarification. We're not funding, this budget doesn't include hot air balloon, like Doug said, the Ceres Street Fair, Love Series, and those sorts of things. So the only thing it really does include is concerts in the park, and then Joey's programs like the trunk or treat and the Christmas and that sort of thing.
Okay, thank you. Vice Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I was just going to go ahead and make a motion. I was going to motion to adopt the annual budget for the fiscal year 2026, beginning July 1st, 2025, ending July 30th, and approving the positions for the fiscal year 2026, and also include the other resolution, adopting appropriation limitations for the fiscal year 2026. So I'm making a motion for both. Yes, I can.
We have a first.
A second.
Roll call, please.
Okay, so just to clarify, we're only approving adopting the budget, right? We need to do,
He's doing both.
we do both at the same
City
time?
attorney said he could.
You can't do both at the same time.
Okay, great. Thank you. Councilmember Casey?
No.
Councilmember Vieira?
Yes.
Councilmember Otero?
No.
Vice Mayor Martinez?
Aye.
Mayor Lopez?
Yes.
Motion carries 3-2.
Congratulations. We passed the budget. Moving on. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. One clap is better than none. Moving on to item number 13. Resolution ratifying the appointment of Trenton Johnston to the position of Chief of Police, approving an employment agreement and authorizing the city manager to execute the agreement. City manager, looks like you'll be handling this item.
Yes, Mr. Mayor and council members. Good news for future Chief Johnson. We can pay him. So since we passed the budget, but anyway, staff recommends the city council adopt the resolution ratifying the appointment of Trenton Johnson to the position of Chief of Police and approving the employment agreement. Chief Perry, as you recall, retired in February 2025, and Captain Johnson at that point took over as an acting chief for this police department, and he's been promoted shortly thereafter to interim chief. He has accomplished more in his short time here than we did a complete year in the past. And he's actually a breath of fresh air dealing with. He's very progressive thinking, has a vision, and actually I think is going to benefit the police department and the city of Ceres tremendously. So I'm asking the council to approve his contract moving forward, and we'll swear him in probably June 30th, and the official swearing in, it will be July 31st with all the other police department personnel at the police department on July 30th, I believe.
Thank you, Doug. We now open the public comment to members of the public. I do have one yellow card. Former Chief Mike Borges, please step up. Thank you for being here, sir.
Mayor, council, thank you. I actually came to listen to the budget presentation. I got a card in the mail, and so I wanted to listen to that. And after 40 years of public service, I know how difficult passing a budget and understanding what a budget is. Then I saw on the agenda that you had this appointment, and I wanted to commend the council and the city manager for moving forward. I am somewhat biased since I've known this young man when he started with the police department as a reserve officer, and I was employed here. And I've watched him grow in his career to the point where he is now, and the leadership that he has displayed during that growth. He's had his hiccups in his career, but one thing about him is he'll take responsibility for his actions, and he'll move forward and learn from them. And I believe that appointing him not only saves you money from having to do a recruitment, which is tight, but you're also picking the right person for the job. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Is there anybody else that would like to make a comment on this item? Okay, seeing none. We have one hand raised, I believe.
Lee, your mic is unmuted.
Yeah, I would just like to say congratulations to TJ. I've known him for a very long time, and he has earned everything he gets and deserves. I think it's a very wise decision. And if we go back to a saying from a former chief of police, I'm sure it'll put a smile on TJ's face and on Mike Borges' face. That is better than perfect. Thank you very much.
Can we get your last name, sir?
Oh, Brandt, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Okay. Moving on. Public comment period is now closed. I bring this item back for council discussion and questions. Wait for the lights to light up. Okay. Councilwoman Serena Otero, go ahead.
Well, I would just like to say that I first met Chief Johnson last year sometime, and I really do appreciate the genuine, humble person that you are. Just the way you deliver yourself in public, the way that you communicate. The communication's been awesome. Every update, it's been amazing. You're quick with a text message or an email, and that is really helpful to our community. So I want to thank you for the hard work that you do and the challenges that you're willing to face. I appreciate it.
Councilwoman Vieira.
Thank you, Mayor. TJ, I appreciate you, and you know that. I know you were very hesitant to accept this position initially, but I know your force has been behind you. Everyone I've talked to has been very supportive and talked very highly of you, including members of the Modesto Police Department who also approached me and kind of told me that I better make sure you become chief. Although it's over and beyond my call of duty, that's the city manager who makes those decisions, but I think that was a great decision. I appreciate like everything that Serena had said. You've been very humble, very honest. You come in very unbiased and very neutral when it comes to certain situations. And you've been very open with communication, and I really appreciate, and I know I ask a lot of questions, and I appreciate you being able to respond even with if limited information that you can provide because of confidentiality. But I appreciate it. I think this is a great decision. It looks like some of your force in the back are smiling and probably agree. So I think that's important that they are very supportive as well of their chief, because I think overall we're still all family, and I know you guys are a very tight family, and I think it's very important that we continue the strength and the trust within the force. And hopefully it sounds like you had a plan to fill the empty positions, which makes me even happier that we'll be able to get this eliminated even with this tight budget that we have. And I'm very grateful to have you in this position, and I'm glad you accepted on the terms that we were presented you. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice Mayor.
Did you have any comments, Mr. Mayor? Because I was going to make the motion after my comments.
Oh, if that's the case, then future chief, not only have you really shown me that how much you care about this community, but how much you've rallied the troops. You know, when you first, heard that you'd be the one that would carry on the torch for the meanwhile on the interim level, you most definitely told yourself and you told me that he wouldn't take on this position unless, the right boxes were checked. And just for the fact that you felt that way and you wanted to make sure that this was the right decision, not only for yourself and your family, but was it the right decision for this department? And I'm very proud to say that I will be supporting you today as the future chief of the city of Ceres. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Interim chief, soon to be chief. I just wanted to thank you and commend your commitment to being here and being involved in the community. When I started as a planning commissioner and transitioned to this council, you were a lieutenant, and you were at every council meeting when Chief Collins and Captain Perry were here too. You transitioned to captain. You were still here at every event. And then when you became interim, you were everywhere all the time. You were at every community event, every barbecue, any event that we did, even in your off time, you showed up. And I think one of the biggest things is the support from your officers behind you, how quickly they all came together for you. So I just want to let you know that I appreciate that. I appreciate the effort you put in from lieutenant all the way up. So it's very impressive, your commitment, and this is very well deserved, especially since you were a hometown officer. I know no disrespect to Chief Collins and Perry, but you might be the biggest, strongest chief the city's ever had. So with that, I'm going to make a motion to appoint Chief Trenton Johnson.
Looks like Casey wanted to.
I apologize.
Go ahead, council member. It's your birthday anyways.
Thank you. All these great things they've said about you, all I got to say is keep it up, okay?
All right, sir.
I'll make a motion to ratify the appointment of Trenton Johnson to the position of police chief and approving the employment agreement authorizing the city manager to execute the agreement.
I'll second that.
Can we get a second? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Casey,
Yes.
Councilmember Vieira,
Yes.
Councilmember Otero,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Martinez,
Aye.
Mayor Lopez.
Of course, yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Congratulations, sir. Chief, we can't just leave you hanging, right?
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Wow, 5-0 vote, that made my day. So I look forward to serving our community. I live here. The problems that they brought up today are my problems too. And I wouldn't be here without the support of my department and the men and women in the Ceres Police Department. They are behind me, and I couldn't be prouder of that. So thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. Council member referrals. Do we have any today? Councilwoman Vieira.
I don't know if I necessarily need to make a referral. I know it was kind of implied, but I don't know if for the record. Otero had mentioned about a follow-up when it comes to the budget, about, 3 to 4, 6 months out, whatever Shannon had thought was best. Just so we can kind of see where the budget is, what we can do to try to minimize if there's any bleeding somewhere and minimize the fiscal impact to the reserves if possible, as well as the policy, if we are going to go forward with the 25,000, which was approved today, policies and procedures on how that's going to be allocated and how you guys would like to move forward. And I know our supervisors here in the crowd anyways, and probably can answer some of those questions for me, but just those are the two things. I don't know if it was implied or if I needed to verbally mention it.
Would that be along the lines of when you get the actuals as they come in, you can come back and report out?
Yeah, we could do a mid-year budget report, or if you wanted to do something a little earlier, but usually we don't receive a lot of our revenue until January. So it makes more sense to kind of look at it at that time so we can see if our projected revenues are on track or if they're lower or higher.
Does that sound okay? Okay, that'll be fine. Is that it? Okay. Doesn't look like there's any other referrals. Moving on to reports. We just had a concert in the park last week. Los Reales del Norte did a great, incredible job. And I wasn't sure if we did the gazebo ribbon cutting after the last city council meeting. So that was phenomenal. Maybe I'll have Joey touch on that. And I have a question for Chief. I know that you're going to do a report on fireworks during your time. You don't have to do it now. Sorry about that. And also, Sam, I would like to have an update about some of the questions about Ochoa Park. I'm sure you probably already had something planned just to kind of let everybody know what we're doing. Other than that, I'll pass it on to any other council members. Vieira.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a quick update. This last month, I did attend the Stanislaus County Homeless Alliance meeting again. We spoke with Modesto Chat, who is very supportive of Chief Johnson and made it very clear. They have met with Ceres Police Department about trying to deal with the mental health outreach, how they model it, what their role is, how they respond to mental health calls that are non-emergencies. So we're talking no weapons, no crime that's involved. So they shared a little bit. I plan on continuing the conversation with them to see what we can do when it comes to funding, because obviously that's going to be the most important key to this conversation. And I continue to plan on continuing to see what we can do to support those type of calls. When it comes to fireworks, I know Chief is going to go into what he's been doing, but I know the calls that are coming in already to me about what to do. Please call non-emergency dispatch. Please let them know there may be an officer in your neighborhood who may be able to just come by. There may not be, because there are, a little excitement around here occasionally. But if there are, please don't hesitate to call. I think it's important that we follow the safe and sane in our legal rules that we have here in the city. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Otero.
Just really quick, Mike and Sam, I just want to thank you for your communication with me about the Ochoa Park repairs. It's really helpful in helping me to get information out to the public. And also, Chief Johnson, I appreciate everything your team has been doing with the homeless in the Hatch and Mitchell area. I understand this police department's approach, and sometimes it can take a little longer to resolve the issues, but I really appreciate all that you guys are doing with that.
Any additional reports? Okay, seeing none. Moving on to our city manager.
I have nothing to report.
Okay, and just for the record, city manager sends us a report every Friday, very lengthy one. So, okay, city attorney. Okay, are you sure? Just kidding. Any of our members from the departments would like to start off with reports? We'll start from left to right.
Council of the Park, we're going on week 4. It'll be Levon and a train wreck tomorrow from 6:30 to 8:30. It's been a great 3 weeks, good attendance, good weather. I think we're in good for a good time tomorrow again. And then also last weekend with our hot air balloon. Want to thank Brandy from the Chamber for her support. It was a very successful event. All 6 balloons went up. There were supposed to be 7. One gentleman couldn't make it. I think, that night I started receiving phone calls from the organizers from 10 to 12 on the phone, just talking about the wind speeds and balloons are not going up. And I told her the balloons are going up no matter what. I don't care if it's 20-mile-an-hour winds out there tonight. They're going up at 5:45. We can start the debrief early. They didn't sleep that night. I was up there. I was at the park at 3 a.m, setting up cones, waiting for everybody. I was relieved at 6:45 when Shannon went up with Councilmember Vieira. So my day was over with. So, and then also big thanks to Jessica, a recreation coordinator, supervisor, who did behind the scenes that we had a total of 60 vendors out there. And then also to our admin secretary for the chamber, Amy Medina, who helps out with a lot of sponsorship. So those two, give them kudos for really helping us out. And thank you guys for your support.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Well, I had asked you earlier if you could give a report on Ochoa Park. Sorry about that. And not today, sir. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Mr. Mayor, I just want to, the reason, I'm glad that you asked that, Mayor. But by the way, you're even council member as well. The Ochoa Park, we had 3 different, we had 3 incidents that happened. One of them, the automatic valve for the irrigation system just failed. And we ordered that part, but there's a huge lead time on it, which was 6 weeks. So with that said, we managed to do a manual irrigation. So staff were at the park every day, manually turning the valves on and off. So we're not relying on the SCADA at that point. So with that said, also we had an incident with the park being flooded in some of the areas. So we kind of reduced the water irrigation for that, specifically around the shaded structure, until we get the result issue with that drainage in that area. Also, the other obstacle was the surfacing of the pickleball court. The painting was supposed to be done, and we had no choice but to turn the irrigation off for that section. So that kind of caused a little bit of a brown area around the park. But the park is fully, we're watering the park continuously every day on the weekends. We're trying to manage to get the grass back to grow again. And it's looking pretty good. I was out there last week, and the ground is saturated. The grass is started to take shape. And hopefully with now that we have the automatic valve system installed, and with the SCADA monitoring the operation of that park, I think we should have a good results.
What can we do about the weeds that you saw on Facebook?
The weeds, I remember Kenny, the supervisor for water, for the parks, with the council member, Rosalinda. They tackled that, the weed problem a few months ago, and weeds grow really fast. So we're trying our best to handle this issue. I just want to point out, Mayor, one thing. We're down to 5 staff members as far as parks. So we're really struggling. We have 14 developed parks around the city that we're trying to maintain with 5 to 6 staff members. It makes it really challenging.
Maybe we, as a community, can talk to Joey about how we can help him for parks. Just reach out and.
Oh, believe me, I mean, we're trying. We're trying to do any. If there's anybody available, anybody wants to volunteer to help address these issues around the city parks, we'll be more than happy to to guide them through the process, and maybe we could tackle this and get the parks back in shape. I mean, we're trying hard. I mean, we're on it every day, Monday through Thursday. We're making sure the parks are clean as much as we can. We're making sure the parks are mowed, so people could take advantage of being out there and enjoying their all the features that we have available.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Anybody else here on the left-hand side? Nothing? You want to add something? Go ahead.
Sorry, just really quick, I want to add about Ochoa Park. There was a family out there today helping to pick some of the weeds in the flower beds. It sounds like there are some others who have done that as well, just took it upon themselves and volunteered. So I want to thank those community members who are taking the time to show some extra care to our parks.
Yeah, thank them, whoever they are. Appreciate that. On this side?
So as we already talked about, as we approach 4th of July, we are starting to get a lot more calls for illegal fireworks. So there's a couple different ways that you can report this, and we'll be doing a social media post here tomorrow with all the information. But we use an app called Nail'em. It's an app on your phone. You can take a picture if you want to, send it in, or you can just put the address or the area that it's coming from, and we will add that into our calls. Or you can call the illegal fireworks hotline, 209-538-LOUD, and that'll be staffed July 2nd through the 5th from 7 to midnight by our record staff. And then you can also email us directly at fireworkshotline at siriuspolice.com. Again, we'll post all this on social media. You don't need to write this down. And if you don't want to use those ways, you can always call our non-emergency number. Just know that if you do call our dispatch, that's also where the 911 calls come in, and you might get put on hold. There might be a delay because they're extremely busy, especially on 4th of July. The fine is still $2,500. We will be out. We'll have additional officers out working July 2nd through the 5th, and they will be specifically targeting illegal fireworks.
Thank you very much. Anybody else? Okay. Seeing none. We will now go into closed session for a conference with labor negotiators, California Government Code 54957. Agency designated representatives are City Manager Douglas D. Dunford and Human Resource Director Delilah Vasquez. Employees organizations are Sirius Police Officer Association, First Line Supervisors Confidential Bargaining Group, Labor International Union of North America, LIUNA, Men Managers Bargaining Group, and Public Safety Managers. Is there anyone in the public who would like to make a comment on this item? Seeing none. Nobody on Zoom. We now adjourn this meeting. Thank you, everybody, for coming today. God bless.
Welcome back, everyone. Direction has been given to staff.